This tool helps you build clear eligibility criteria from the start, so you can avoid collecting studies that do not truly fit your review. Many systematic reviews become confusing before the screening even begins. That usually happens because the eligibility criteria are not clearly defined. That is why setting clear criteria inside cited evidence is so important. In last video, I added the population section for adults with chronic lower back pain and the intervention section for telehealth-based physiotherapy. Now in this video, I am going to continue with the remaining sections. I will add the comparator, outcome, and study design. These sections complete the review rules before moving into search strings and screening. Now I move to comparator. I click Add Comparator. In the label box, I write comparator. The comparator is what the intervention is being compared against. In this review, I want to compare telehealth-based physiotherapy with usual in-person care or other standard options. In the description box, I will write usual in-person physiotherapy, standard care, home exercise advice, waitlist control, or no structured physiotherapy. This gives me a clear comparison group. For the include box under comparator, I will write studies comparing telehealth physiotherapy with in-person physiotherapy, usual care, standard medical advice, waitlist, no intervention, or basic home exercise instructions. This is important because not every study will compare telehealth directly with in-person physiotherapy. Some may compare it with usual care, some may compare it with a waitlist, some may compare it with simple home advice. These can still be useful depending on the review design. For the exclude box under comparator, I will write studies with no clear comparison group, studies comparing two telehealth methods only, or studies where both groups receive the same remote physiotherapy program. I am excluding these because they do not help answer the main comparison. If both groups are using telehealth, then the study may not tell me whether telehealth is better or worse than usual in-person care or standard care. Next, I will add outcome. I click Add Outcome. In the label box, I write Outcome. Outcomes are the results I care about. For this review, I want to know whether telehealth-based physiotherapy improves pain and mobility. In the description box, I will write pain reduction, improved physical function, mobility improvement, disability score improvement, quality of life, adherence, and patient satisfaction. This tells the tool what kind of results are relevant. In the include box for outcome, I will write studies reporting pain scores, mobility measures, physical function, disability indexes, range of motion, quality of life, treatment adherence, or patient satisfaction. This keeps the outcome broad enough to find useful studies, but still focused on the main goal. A paper may not use the exact word mobility. It may use physical function or disability score. That can still be relevant. In the exclude box for outcome, I will write studies that do not report patient outcomes, studies only about cost, provider opinions, software usability, or appointment attendance without pain or mobility results. These studies may be interesting, but they do not answer my review question. If I am asking whether the treatment improves pain and mobility, then I need studies that actually measure pain and mobility. Now I will add study design. I click Add Study Design. In the label box, I write Study Design. In the description box, I will write randomized controlled trials, controlled clinical trials, cohort studies, or comparative observational studies evaluating telehealth physiotherapy for chronic lower back pain. This helps define what type of evidence I want. If I want a very strict review, I might only include randomized controlled trials. But for this demonstration, I will allow controlled and comparative studies too, because that may give the review more useful evidence. In the include box for study design, I will write randomized controlled trials, non-randomized controlled trials, cohort studies, and comparative studies with adult participants and clear outcome reporting. In the exclude box, I will write case reports, editorials, opinion articles, protocols without results, conference abstracts without full data, animal studies, and narrative reviews. This is important because systematic reviews usually need original research studies, not opinions or summaries. Now I want to explain one detail on this screen. Some criteria say use in search strings, and some say screening only or database filter. This matters. If I choose use in search strings, cited evidence can translate that criterion into search terms. For example, population and intervention are very useful for search strings because terms like chronic lower back pain and telerehabilitation can help find the right papers. But some items, like study design, may be better used as a screening rule or database filter. That means I may not force every study design term into the search string, but I will use it later when deciding what to include. At this stage, I have built the main structure of the review. I have defined who the review is about, what treatment I am studying, what I am comparing it with, what outcomes I care about, and what study designs I want. This is the part that gives the review its rules. Without these rules, the review can become confusing very quickly. But now, when Cited Evidence starts helping me form search strings and screen studies, it has a much clearer idea of what I am looking for. So let me quickly recap what I did in this video. I started from the eligibility criteria section. I added population and defined adults with chronic lower back pain. I added intervention and defined telehealth-based physiotherapy. I added comparator and defined usual in-person care, standard care, wait list, or home exercise advice. I added outcome and defined pain reduction, mobility, function, disability, quality of life, adherence, and satisfaction. Then I added study design and defined which research designs I want to include and exclude. In the next video, I will take these criteria and move into the search string stage. This is where Cited Evidence starts turning my review question and eligibility rules into search terms that can be used across research sources like PubMed, Semantic Scholar, OpenAlex, RCiv, and clinicaltrials.gov. In simple words, this video created the rules. The next video will show how those rules become an actual research search